Poisonees. This is another short preview of what's happening over on the Poisoners Cabinet Patreon channel. In October, spooky month is upon us. We've had some great episodes in September looking at famous serial killers, doomed romances and poison pen letters, but as we head towards Halloween, things are really ramping up. Not only do we have our weekly Deadly Nightcaps episodes and our monthly case files of PC Morris, but we've also crammed in some extra content for Patreon followers this month. We've got scary fictional story readings. We're going to have spooky book and film recommendations. We're planning a live craft-along session for Patreon subscribers with a Q&A and whatever else we can think of that's just downright spooky for October. We've mentioned the benefits of Patreon on the show before, but it is a very good platform to support independent podcast creators like us. It enables us to do more for you more regularly and to put out more content on a really lovely, inclusive platform. It's the place to be if you want extra content from the Poisoners Cabinet every week and every month, and also if you want to be closer to our podcast community without having to go on social media. There are 2 levels of subscription to choose from, and more than 110 episodes to enjoy, as well as special appearances, gift option, bloopers, videos, and lots of other bonus material. And it's also the place where stories get a little bit more gruesome while still staying fun. And most importantly, it is flexible. So if you need to cancel at any time, you have the option to do that, or you can buy an annual subscription to Patreon as a gift for someone. So here is a little teaser from Deadly Nightcaps episode 112, which contained 2 stories and just gives you a taster of how spooky things are getting over on the Poisoners Cabinet Patreon.
1947.
Sorry.
Was that the creepy thing?
Much. Oh God, not 1947. That was just after the war. Rationing.
As the world is indeed struggling to get over years of horrendous warfare. Now, much of Southeast Asia has been recently liberated from Japanese wartime occupation. And a lot of the European powers, the Brits, the Dutch, and all these the Brits and the Dutch especially, were out there trying to reclaim their sort of colonial territories that they had generally lost. Not to great effect, really. But they were out there. They were going for it.
Yay.
And there were rising tensions between these various powers who were trying to grab whatever resources they could. So it didn't come as much as a surprise when a US ship, the Silver Star, that is stationed near the Straits of Malacca, receives a distress call. Morse code distress signal, SOS. Now, an officer from the Silver Star reported later that they were about 200 miles off the Solomon Islands when they intercepted this signal. The signal went SOS from the steamship Jurang Madan, begging ships with shortwave wireless and doctor to get in touch. Urgent. Now, the US ship replied, thinking obviously there's been some great emergency, some medical emergency, or they've been attacked or they're capsized, something. They need help urgently. And they relay this request to various medical stations. Slowly, more Morse code comes beeping through the transmitters. All officers, including captain, are dead. Lying in chart room and bridge. Possibly whole crew dead.
What?
There then followed a series of dots and dashes that were indecipherable. Then a final 2 words. I die. Then nothing.
Shut up. What?
Nothing further.
I've not heard this story. This is genuinely creepy. I don't like it.
The American ship and a couple of coastal monitoring stations who have also picked up this signal are able to triangulate the source of these broadcasts, which they identify as a Dutch freighter, the SS Jurang Madan. Now, any guesses what Jurang Madan means?
In my extensive knowledge of Dutch.
Oh no, we're actually in Malay.
Oh, you're in Malay. Sorry, of course, sorry.
But it's a Dutch ship. Easy mistake to make, but Jurang Madan.
Jurang Madan. I want to say Event Horizon. Because this does sound like the start of that.
It does, but it's not.
I don't know. What is it?
It is the Man of Medan.
No, it's the Man of Medan. Why did I not walk into this? I mentioned it earlier.
You did mention it earlier, and I thought,
computer game called The Man of Medan, which I've played. But so it's based on a true story.
This is the story
Oh
that the
God.
game is based on. Absolutely.
I did not read the back of that game manual, clearly. No. Oh, they're all dead they're all in the chart room and they're all dead.
They're all dead. They're
don't
all
like
dead.
it.
Now, spurred by the obvious urgency of the SOS call, the captain of the Silver Star changes course to render aid to the distressed ship. It takes about 16 hours for the Silver Star to rendezvous with the Orang Medan, and there they see this vast ship bobbing along in the waters. There's been no further communication since the initial SOS. There is no flag flying. The ship is listing slightly to starboard and it is dead in the water. Now, as the Silver Star approaches this huge vessel, the Americans try unsuccessfully to call out to the Dutch crew on the ship. They launch 2 lifeboats, each with 8 men in, and they row across to the Orang Medan and board her. They find a scene of horror. The deck of the ship is littered with the deceased bodies of its crew. Now each has a look on their faces as if they had witnessed something truly horrifying. Even the ship's dog is dead with the same look of terror in its eyes. There are no physical wounds on any of them. The sailors seem to have dropped dead at their posts. The captain of the Orang Medan is lying dead on the ship's bridge. The body of his officers were scattered around the wheelhouse, the same expressions of horror upon their faces and their eyes wide open. The communications officer is found with his fingers still reaching out and touching the telegraph where he had been trying to call for help in vain. Down in the boiler room, more bodies are found, apparently racked with agony before they died, but there is no evidence of foul play. There is no physical wounds and anything. There's no damage to the ship. The only clue is a single lifeboat that is missing.
Oh.
The captain of the Silver Star gives orders to tow the Dutch steamship back to port. There are people there who will figure this out. This is not for us to figure out. We're going to take it back to port and then someone else can sort this fucking shit out.
Yes, I understand that is very necessary. It's also, no. Don't take the giant cursed death ship back to land.
Yeah.
You don't know what the shit happened on there.
Wow. Just as the sailors from the Silver Star had secured the towing lines, smoke comes billowing out of one of the cargo holds and a massive explosion tears through the side of the Orang Medan. The ship begins to swiftly sink beneath the surface, and the crew of the Silver Star have to act quickly to cut the towing lines before they are dragged down with it. The Orang Medan and its dead crew sink to the bottom of the ocean. No evidence of the wreck was ever found.
What?
But no one seemed to even be looking for it, really. More interesting, despite there are numerous newspaper reports of the story of the ill-fated steamer, no records were ever found for a ship called the Orang Medan. So what killed the crew of a ship that didn't formally exist?
Kraken.
The Kraken. The Kraken, we're going with the Kraken.
Everyone saw the Kraken and then died of fright.
Now, 10 days after the sinking of the Orang Medan, a lifeboat with 6 corpses and 1 barely alive survivor washes up on the Marshall Islands.
Okay.
The survivor is a chap called Jerry Rabbit. Now, he claims to be a second officer aboard the Orang Medan, and he tells an extraordinary tale of conspiracy and horror and betrayal.
You can hear the rest of that story over at patreon.com/The Poisoner's Cabinet. We hope that you can join us over there if you haven't already. We will, of course, see you for the main episodes every Friday wherever you listen to your podcasts. And remember to keep drinking and keep talking about poison.